Dan with Echo Incorporated, and today we're going to talk about how to use and maintain a gas hedge trimmer. Some of the things we're going to talk about today are how to start your gas hedge trimmer. Next, we're going to talk about some of the safety considerations you'll need to know while using your gas hedge trimmer. Then we'll move on to the operation of your gas hedge trimmer. And finally, then we'll talk about the long-term maintenance and storage of your next gas hedge trimmer. With over 10 years of experience in the outdoor power equipment industry, I've worked with end users, dealers, distributors, and manufacturers. And for the past 4 years, I've been with Echo Power Equipment, a leading equipment manufacturer in the outdoor power equipment industry for more than 30 years. So now let's get started. I'm going to show you how to use and maintain your next gas hedge trimmer. Hi, I'm Dan Rosenberger with Echo Incorporated. Today we're here to talk about how to use and maintain your gas hedge trimmer. Now let's talk about how to start your gas hedge trimmer. First thing you need to do is consult your safety and operations manual to make sure that your unit is assembled correctly and ready to start. Before we start the unit, we need to mix up our gas oil mixture. Here I've got a 1-gallon gas can, clearly marked as mixed 2-stroke oil. So I've already filled the gas tank up halfway with 89 octane fuel. I'm going to add 2.6 fluid ounces of 2-stroke oil. So I'm going to go ahead and add that into my half-gallon of 89 octane fuel. Now what I want to do is go ahead and fill it up to the 1-gallon mark with my straight fuel. Put the cap on tightly and shake it up. So now we've got our mixture shaken up. So we've got 1 gallon of 89 octane mixed with 2.6 fluid ounces of 2-stroke oil, which gives us that 50-to-1 gas fuel mixture. And always remember to fill up your machine, preferably outside on the ground or in a well-ventilated area. So now we've got our machine fueled up. It's been assembled correctly and we're ready to start it. So now let's go outside and I'll demonstrate the warm start and cold start procedures. So now we're ready to start our gas hedge trimmer. I've got my safety apparel on, I've got my leather gloves, my glasses, my hearing protection, long sleeves, long pants, and closed-toed shoes. I've cleared the area of any objects, no children, no pets, no sporting materials, everything's clear. And I've placed it on the ground securely. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the sheath. Since this is a cold starting position, I'm going to go through the cold starting procedure. I'm going to remove the sheath. Now on a cold starting procedure, it would be the first start of the day or after the machine is cooled down. I'm going to put my on-off switch to the on position. We're going to put our choke lever to the cold start run position. Then I'm going to push the purge valve 5 to 6 times, just so it fills with fuel. Now we're ready to start it. So I'm going to place it firmly back on the ground, place my left foot on the handle, my right hand on the front guard. Since this has a easy start recoil, it's going to take about 75% less energy to start the engine. So I'm going to pull very lightly. The machine's going to sound like it's going to fire. Then we're going to put it to the run position and pull the recoil again. So there the engine sounded like it was going to fire. So now we want to move the choke lever to the run position, and our gas hedge trimmer should fire on the first or second pull. So I finished half of my job. The hedge trimmer's warm. I've set it down for a few seconds to get something out of the hedge. Now I'm going to restart the unit. So now I'm going to follow the warm starting procedure to fire our unit back up. So again, I want to start with the on-off switch, put it to the run position, place your unit firmly back down on the ground, left foot in the rear handle, right hand on the front handle. I'm going to place it in the run position. There's no need to push the purge valve on a warm starting procedure. And again, this unit has an easy start recoil, so it takes about 75% of the effort away in starting the unit. So I simply have to pull the recoil 1 to 2 times and the unit will fire. So that's how you start your gas hedge trimmer. Up next, let's talk about the safety considerations and safety apparel you'll need while using your gas hedge trimmer. Hi, I'm Dan Rosenberger with Echo Incorporated, and today we're talking about how to use and maintain your gas hedge trimmer. And now we're going to talk about the safety considerations and safety apparel that you'll need while using your gas hedge trimmer. First, let's talk about apparel. You're going to need a nice set of leather gloves while using your gas hedge trimmer, along with ear protection and eye protection. If you can, wear a long sleeve shirt with long pants and closed-toed shoes. Now let's take a look at some of the safety considerations you're going to need to know while using your gas hedge trimmer. You want to always sheath the blades when it's not in use. So when you're ready to use your gas hedge trimmer, go ahead and take your sheath off. You want to make sure that your blades have a guard on them. In this case, you can see the guard sticks out about 3/8 of an inch above the blades. That's going to keep your clothing out of the cutting surface. You don't want to put anything too big into those cutting areas to bind up your blades. Another safety consideration is you want to make sure you have a guard right in front of your left hand. This is going to protect your knuckles and your hand from flying debris in the blades. You want to make sure that you're aware of the hot surfaces, where the muffler is. On this particular model, the muffler actually discharges down, but it is still hot, so you want to keep it away from your body as much as you can. The muffler is always going to be indicated by a sticker on the guard. You want to know what kind of recoil you have. This particular unit has a 75% reduction in starting efforts, so you know how hard to pull when you're starting it. This unit has a translucent tank. That's going to show you through the gas tank how much fuel's in your machine. You always want to have enough fuel in the machine to complete your job. You want to have a safety switch that's easily accessible. Many times you'll need to sit down your gas hedge trimmer to step back, take a look at your hedge and make sure you're shaping it correctly. And you want to have something that's easily accessible and that's durable. Then you have the safety lock. This is important. You have to firmly grip the safety lock to engage the throttle. This is a safety feature important if you do happen to stumble. If something comes in contact with the throttle, it won't engage unless your hand's placed firmly on the throttle. So those are some of the safety considerations you should be aware of. Up next, let's talk about the actual operation of your gas hedge trimmer. Hi, I'm Dan Rosenberger with Echo Incorporated, and today we're talking about how to use and maintain your gas hedge trimmer. Now let's talk about the actual operation of your gas hedge trimmer. First, you want to clear your work area. Make sure that there's no children's toys or hoses. You want to remove all the obstacles in your work area. You also want to make sure that you have the right unit for the right application. You always want to have something big enough to get the job done. Remember to be courteous of your neighbors. Some villages in town have restrictions on when you can use power equipment and then what decibel rating the power equipment has to be. So those are some of the things to consider when actually operating your gas hedge trimmer. Up next, let's talk about the long-term storage and maintenance of your gas hedge trimmer.